Once upon a time, algebra in 8th grade was a badge of honor, something only the top math students earned. But now, this is default. In 2025, over 1 out of 4 8th graders in the US are taking Algebra 1. And in competitive school districts, that number is even higher. So what used to distinguish the gifted is now becoming the starting line. So today I want to give you the honest breakdown, what math acceleration really means in today's admissions climate and how it shifted over the decades, and why getting an A in algebra means far less. So if you're a parent who went to the school in the 80s and 90s, very few high schoolers actually took advanced math like AP Calculus. Matter of fact, you could get into Harvard without taking this. And then came the 21st century, and competitive families started to accelerate their child on math curriculum. And then AP Calculus showed up, and it became standard among top tier applicants. It's just like the Olympics. Once someone breaks the record, everyone else pushes to meet or exceed it. So what used to be elite is now expected. And in a world of relative evaluation, your child's performance is only meaningful in the context of what everyone else is doing. It's all relative. So let's be clear, getting an A in math doesn't mean much anymore, because too many schools hand them out easily. So if your child took algebra in 8th grade and got an A, the question is, what comes next? Are they progressing to geometry in 9th grade, algebra 2, and pre-calculus, so on and so forth? And even this path is becoming typical among top students. So what separates your child from the rest is no longer the grade. Grade is a given. Getting an A is a given. What separates is the pace and the depth of progress. At college info sessions at the top universities, admissions officers have admitted that you, as a student, don't need to race ahead. Just do your schoolwork well. And then, a couple minutes later, they would say, we value students who've taken advanced college level courses and math in high school. So you see how these are two contradictory statements? And the admission officers say this because they're trying to avoid scaring average students while still spotting the top 1% from the applicant pool. So how do elite applicants interpret this? They quietly accelerate. They supplement their math curriculum with math competitions. They self-study advanced math if they're going into STEM field. And they prove they're not just A students. They prove that they're thinkers and risk takers. Now, with that said, it's becoming more difficult for past generations to guide today's students, especially for parents, like I said, who went to the high schools in the 90s or even the early 2000s. You might say, I did fine at school. I got into a good school without all of this advanced work. But the rules have changed. You're no longer just playing for a college admission. The college admission in 2025 is a stacked field. Stacked field with 10 times the acceleration, support, and global competition. So your old playbook will not cut it anymore. So if your child is aiming for top schools, especially the STEM schools like MIT, remember that Algebra 1 in 8th grade is not early, it is average. And to stand out, they need deep understanding, not just grades, competition experience or independent research, evidence they've moved beyond the standard track. So you must go beyond just what's being taught in classrooms. And this is not about pressure, it's about strategy. So if this video helped reframe how to think your child's academic success, drop a like in this video and share it with other parents comparing different math tracks. I made a specific deep dive on what math tracks are in the US and how to change your students' math track. You can refer that in my playlist. And subscribe for real talk about what top colleges expect and how to help your child build not just transcripts, but credentials. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.